Someone should have told Donald Trump that the president's job under Article 2 of the Constitution is to take care that the laws are faithfully executed, not that the vice president is executed. J.D. Vance, do you understand why there was a sudden job opening for running mate on the GOP ticket? They tried to kill your predecessor.
It was speeches like the one you just heard from Congressman Jamie Raskin that has the Trump-Vance ticket pretty furious. And as a result, J.D. Vance has put out a bit of a conspiracy theory about the Trump assassination attempt. Now, before we get to that, Democratic Congressman Raskin, who served on the January 6th Select Committee investigating what transpired on January 6th, talked about that attack on the Capitol, and not in a good way. The Trump campaign or in a good way, but not in a way that the Trump campaign favored, obviously. In response, the Trump campaign responded to Raskin, stating that the Maryland Democrat was willing to politicize talking about assassinations just 1 month after a gunman fired shots at the former president in Butler, Pennsylvania. And Vance himself even told the Democrats to knock it off for the safety of Donald Trump. So let's take a quick look at that.
For a month now that there was, of course, the record attempt on President Trump's life back in Pennsylvania. I'm curious if you think, we're a month and a half out from that now or so. Has the political rhetoric, has the temperature of the political rhetoric dropped enough? Has it dropped at all? I'm curious on what's true.
Well, I think it's dropped a little bit in part because of Donald Trump's leadership, right? I mean, he had every right to stand up after he was shot in the ear and get really pissed off and blame the Democrats. And what he instead did was call for national calm and national unity. I do think that Democrats recognize that when you say that the guy is an existential threat to American democracy, sometimes that means crazy people are going to take actions into their own hands. And so even the Democrats have toned it down a little bit. Unfortunately, yesterday at the convention, I feel like maybe they were starting to ramp up the rhetoric back up. So I hope that they remember when you tell the American people that this guy must be stopped at all costs, most people are going to respond to that reasonably. Some people are going to take crazy actions and take matters into their own hands. So I encourage my Democrat friends to maybe pump the brakes a little bit on the apocalyptic rhetoric around Donald Trump.
Hey, don't scroll away. Come back. Because before the video continues, we just want to urge you to lend your support to TYT. You power our honest reporting. You do it at tyt.com/team, and we love you for it.
And look, I actually think that there is a point to be made about the rhetoric and how all sides need to tone it down, right? But then you have what you're about to watch, which is J.D. Vance essentially implying that Democrats were behind the assassination attempt. Let's take a look.
8 years ago, Donald Trump had everything: fame, fortune, family, friends. He gave up the easy life so that we could get our country back. He traded everything he had for unjust persecution, for slander and scorn from the fake news, all for this country, for you and me. They couldn't beat him politically, so they tried to bankrupt him. They failed at that, so they tried to impeach him. They failed at that, so they tried to put him in prison. They even tried to kill him. But as sure as the American flag still waves in our beautiful sky, Donald Trump still stands.
Implying that Democrats were behind the assassination attempt is engaging in exactly what he was condemning in the earlier video that we showed you. There is no indication that Democrats were behind that. In fact, just to remind you all, in the aftermath, when the FBI was able to finally access Crooks' cell phones, and remember, Thomas Crooks was the shooter here, and other electronic devices, agents could see that he had searched for images of Trump as well as President Biden, Attorney General Merrick Garland, and even FBI Director Christopher Wray. And of course, we know that he had registered as a Republican. And honestly, he just seemed like an unhinged individual who, I don't know what motivated him to do what he did, okay? But to imply that the Democratic Party was behind that is incredibly irresponsible, incredibly toxic for this country, given, the political violence that we've experienced in recent years.
Yeah, I refuse to engage in gaslighting, meaning they're gaslighting. I'm not going to humor them on it. The Vance talking about how Donald Trump is so kind and conciliatory, and he's been so gracious and selfless. I mean, how much he's done for this country at personal cost. Are you kidding me? His son-in-law got $2 billion from Saudi Arabia after he left office, let alone all the other hundreds of things that we've talked about. In fact, we have this game we're playing, TrumpBrackets.com, where we literally had thousands of submissions and votes for all the terrible things that he has done. And when you look at the list, and we're doing it now, go to TrumpBrackets.com, you're gonna be reminded, like, oh my God, we're trying to narrow down hundreds of choices down to 64 so that we could do a March Madness style things. And as you look at that list, you're like, oh, he's the worst person ever in politics. I mean, just one outrageous thing after another. All he ever does is attack personally. Most vicious attacks you've ever seen. And then these clowns come out here and go, oh my God, Donald Trump is so kind. And I can't believe the Democrats are so uncivil for attacking him. Brother, let's go to the core of what Jamie Raskin said that we started this clip. Okay, they were chanting hang Mike Pence. Mark Meadows goes into according to Trump staffers, Mark Meadows, the chief of staff, goes into Trump's office and says, they're looking to murder your vice president, your supporters. Mr. President, can you please call them off? And he thinks, and Trump tells him, I think he deserves it. I'm not going to do anything about it. So that's a monster of epic proportions. In my lifetime, there's never been someone so unhinged that they didn't mind their supporters murdering their own vice president. How are we still having a conversation about this guy? And don't tell me, oh my God, the Democrats are uncivil. The Democrats have barely begun to fight for the first time in my life. It's like, oh my God, they did a 10% or 20% aggressive speech. Oh wow, amazing, right? And the Republicans are like, oh, why are you grabbing me? Why are you grabbing me, right?
Yeah.
Get out of here. I dismiss everything JD Vance says. And then in the ludicrous conspiracy theory that somehow the Democrats, had something to do with the shooting. It was a right winger who was unhinged, who apparently was trying to kill either Biden or Trump.
And look, I get that Hulk Hogan was a wrestler. I get the shtick that we're about to share with you that he's engaging in. But maybe think about the optics of this, considering who he's threatening in this comment. So let's go to the last graphic here, because Hulk Hogan, who again, celebrity wrestler, asked a crowd if he should body slam Kamala Harris. You want me to body slam someone, Hogan asked, while hyping up the crowd in a video published by TMZ. You want me to body slam Kamala Harris? I said, do you want me to body slam Kamala Harris? Do you want me to drop the leg? I don't know what that means on Kamala. It doesn't sound good.
Yeah, no, I'll explain. So first of all, I get it. He's using wrestling lingo. Second of all, drop the leg means that was Hulk Hogan's signature move. He was like the Mac Daddy of all wrestlers, except his signature move sucked. It was just dropping a leg on somebody's head.
Like kicking someone's head?
No, he goes back and forth and then jumps up in the air and lands with the bottom of his leg on their head.
Impressive.
It's the worst signature move ever, and I was a Hulkamaniac. Anyway, so look, under normal circumstances, I say that's not that big a deal, right? But when you're going around going, I can't believe the Democrats attacked us a little bit, and then your guy says, oh, I want to body slam Kamala Harris. Yeah, then okay, then at the very least, I offer you a tall glass of shut up juice. And I don't mean on the body slam. I mean on complaining that the Democrats are too weeny to you. Oh, the Democrats are so mean. They're the ones being on some. And MAGA guys, do you respect yourself at all? You're really gonna cry about Democrats being too mean? Is that what you're gonna cry about? Come on, man. So look, what happened to Donald Trump was an abomination. Anytime there's political violence, it's awful. It means surrender. It means that you can't win an intellectual battle. So I hated what happened to Donald Trump. But if you say you hated what happened to Donald Trump, but you didn't mind if Mike Pence was going to be murdered, well, you're not exactly principled and against violence.
My husband just sent me a video of Hulk Hogan doing the leg drop. And I think the most impressive part about it is that no one gets hurt when this kind of stuff happens, that it's all fake.
Yeah, well, that's because he drops the leg at the where it at the knee where it bends so that it misses anyway.
These wrestlers are actually really impressive with their acting skills.
Yeah, and it's actually a good segue into politics where they're going to continue to do more acting.